Well, the governor was at that event to mark the climax of exercise Camp Highland Battle Inoculation, which held at the Nigerian Army camp in Kotangara. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has reassured Nigerians that ensuring peace and prosperity remains a priority in his second tenure. He told a delegation from the International Labour Organization led by its Director General, Mr. Guy Ryder, that in spite of the huge population of young people in the country, the federal government will focus on job creation to advance development, as the nation cannot rely on food importation alone. As the International Labour Organization marks its 100 years, the President urged the organization to support the country through technical assistance that will improve existing programs.
I want to assure you that I will be following your deliberations with interest, keeping in mind that job creation is a key priority for this government. 65% or over 120 million Nigerians are under the age of 25. As a government, our priority is to ensure peace and prosperity for all our citizens. On infrastructure development, we attacked head-on the big deficit in power, roads, bridges, rails, and housing. Our achievements to date were as a result of strategic fiscal and monetary policy decisions. In some instances, we partnered with stakeholders such as the labor unions. As we move forward, we hope the International Labour Organization and other partners will support our program through technical assistance and other interventions that will improve our existing programs and develop new ones.
Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari and the former senator representing Kaduna Central Senatorial District, Senator Shehu Sani, is calling on the federal government to review the ECOWAS protocol that allows free movement of member states in order to effectively curb terrorism and armed banditry. Senator Sani, who spoke to a select media organization in Abuja, maintains that although a strong collaboration with neighboring countries is needed to combat terrorism and armed robbery, it is against Nigeria's interest to allow armed herders to have free movement into the country. According to him, there's an urgent need on the part of the federal government to strengthen international relationships.
We have come to the realization that part of the reasons why our problems as a nation, our crisis, and our challenges prolong to this very level has to do with the fact that there are forces and instruments from outside of our country that in some way have a role to play in the challenges we face as a country. In view of this crisis that we are facing as a country today, the violence and the killings, we must renegotiate the ECOWAS protocol on the issue of migration, specifically as it affects our own security challenges as a country. When herdsmen move from other nations with arms to our nation, we fold our arms in the name of protocol. They will end up destabilizing our country. And our concern is that why are there no herdsmen violence in Ghana, in Guinea, in Burkina Faso, in Niger Republic? Why are there not in Togo and Benin Republic? Why not in Guinea-Bissau? Why must it be Nigeria? These are issues to ask.
Well, it's 3 days since the Senate confirmed the ministerial nominees sent to the Parliament by the President, but the portfolios of the ministers designate, they're not yet known, and perhaps the major activities of the Senate is screening them. But since that has been done, lawmakers have proceeded on their recess. Well, let's find out from our correspondent, Terry Kumi. He's been covering the activities for the latest. Terry Kumi, thank you so much for joining us on the program. We must ask, I mean, screening is done. Lawmakers on recess, but how would you summarize their activities since their inauguration?
Well, hello, Millicent. So, yes, the Senate has gone on recess, just like the House of Representatives. But the Senate will be resuming on the 24th of September, while the House of Representatives will resume on the 17th of September. And you understand that that's because of the extra days that the Senate had to sit to conclude the ministerial screening. Now, for activities in the Senate, in the National Assembly generally, House of Representatives, a lot of bills passed through first reading, over 100 of them. So when they resume from their long break, these bills will have to go through second reading, and that's when the debate will start, and that takes a lot of time. For the Senate, there's been no bills yet. They've only had motions like the House of Representatives has had. Now, also recall that the challenge the House of Representatives had to go through while trying to elect the leadership of House and naming of the committees. The Senate didn't have to go through that. It's been a smooth sailing so far for the senators, but not the same for the House of Representatives.
I've been wondering what happens to the business when of oversight functions, the legislature, when they're on holiday.
So when they're on holiday, they still get to carry out some of the activities, but not compulsorily. They just don't sit. For example, yesterday, one House of Representatives committee had a sit-in, but mostly the senators, the lawmakers generally get to travel, and not much happens when they're on recess, but it doesn't stop. But oversight functions might not really come into play at this point until they return, because the committees have only just been constituted. So what they're doing is meeting behind closed doors and strategizing.
All right, thank you so much, Terry Kumi, for that update. Still to come on the program, we'll get some insights into the state of security and the federal government's plans. Please join us again.